Just asking to make sure.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you, where you are. Thank you, Stephen, for joining me right away. So I noticed you were on already just before I actually had it quite going. So thank you very much for for hanging out with me here. All right. Today, I want to talk to you about another aspect of becoming free from the system, the debt-based monetary system that we are in. Now, the program, the people that I'm going to be talking to you about are now in 35 different in 35 countries is where we have people. Okay, people who are going through this program, and maybe you're already very well aware of it. I don't know, but if you're not and you want to find it later, in my description there is I have my links there, and one of those links is cryptotbc.com. In cryptotbc.com, there is a link in the menu that is called True Freedom. And if you go and on that page, you will find the links to the information that I'm telling you about. Now, there is a series of 17 introductory videos that you can watch that will give you a pretty comprehensive overview as to what it is that this program is really about. Okay, so all I'm going to really be I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea what it is about, so that if you want to know more, that you will go there to find the information. Okay. Now, unless you already know about Pantera de Oro, then this will likely be new information for you. Okay. Now, okay, so in order for me to tell you a little bit about it, obviously we got to first look at where we are. Okay, so where we are now is I know that we'd like to call ourselves, we're victims of thousands of years of planning to enslave all of humanity, but we're not actually victims. If we call ourselves victims, then we stay victims, because a victim has no power to change anything. Therefore, we are not victims. We are part of the system. We didn't plan it, that's true, but we still participated in it, and therefore we must not call ourselves victim. I hope you understand what I mean by that. If we look at it and say, well, they did it, they are guilty for doing this to us, well, that takes the power away from us to change anything. But if we take full responsibility and say that, yes, maybe they did all the planning, maybe they set all of that up, but we, with our consent, participated in what they're doing, then we can say, well, okay, if I'm part of it, if the problem is that I'm having is within me, then I am the one that can change it. And that's what I'd like for us to see. Okay. Now, So if we look at this and see the central banking system, the way it has been arranged now, it has been in the planning for very many years, not just since the Federal Reserve was created. Now, of course, creating the Federal Reserve, since then, their progress has been accelerated immensely. But at the same time, the very people that wrote all of the meticulous laws and all of the planning, everything that they did, uh, there is one thing that they also did, and they always made sure there was a way out for people who would understand the system that they were creating. It's all smoke and mirrors. Okay, the entire system is all designed on smoke and mirrors. So much so that, matter of fact, in Canada, we haven't legally had a government even since 1931. Since then, it's just been smoke and mirrors. There's actually we don't actually legally have a government at all. Did we know it as Canadians? No, we didn't know it. There may have been a couple of people who knew it, but probably too scared to ever say anything. But folks, the program that I'm telling you about is a program that gives us the entire view of the other side of the coin. Okay, we are the way it is shown to us is in the mirror, in the smoke and mirror system. We are only seeing the outside of it. Okay, so we're only seeing the side that is pushed on us, the side where we have to pay for all the licenses, we have to pay for all the insurances, we have to, we have to drive really right, we have to, so we don't get speeding tickets, we don't get, we don't get hauled to court for any mistakes that we make, whatever. We are in a war zone and we are the enemy. That is how the system is created. We, to them, we are the enemy. They have made it so that now this might surprise you if you don't know anything about it, but what they have created, this smoke and mirror system, is they have lifted all of us. If you know what civilization means, if you don't know what civilization means, well, here's what it means. Civilization means that the people, not just the people that are being the people, meaning it includes it includes the soldiers, it includes the police, it includes the bankers. Bank, the people working in the bank, not the elite, but the local banking people. Okay, it includes all of us, the people who are being managed as well as the people who are managing, who are enforcing all the laws. Okay, here's what civilization means. It means that we have all been lifted off of the land and put into a containment field. We cannot legally own anything. We are not legally, even our own body isn't ours. We are owned as far as the system is concerned. We are owned by them and we can't own anything. This is why we have to have a license in order to drive. This is why we have a license in order to have a business. This is why we have to pay for insurance. This is why we have to register a business and corporations and all of that stuff. So if this is all new to you and you didn't know about this stuff, then I would to learn more about it, if you want to understand it clearer and you want to know more about what I'm telling you, then I would suggest that you go to my website, cryptotbc.com, and click on the link True Freedom, and there you will find the information that I'm telling you about. And this is what Pantera de Oro is all about. They have he has a college or a university called Gemstone. Okay, and with that university, we are learning all of that it takes for us to be completely free. And folks, when you are free from the tax system, you are free from licenses, you are free from insurances, all of this meticulous stuff that they're pushing on us. We can be freed from all of it. Okay, so I think that's about all I'm going to say about it, because this is a this is a TBC presentation, or should I say a live hangout. Oh, actually, one more thing I want to mention, and you might actually like this part. The owner of this system that I was telling you about is actually working with our admin. Actually, they're actually working together, because Pantera de Oro is they are considering having TBC as one of their currencies to use in their free society. Okay, so this is I just wanted to tell you this, because if you are looking to completely become free from the system, that is where you can go and begin to do that. Okay. All right. So anybody have any questions that you would like any more clarity on, or have I given you enough? Okay. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me here. I appreciate it. Brian, hang on. It is Pantera. I believe it has 2 R's in it, and then it's just a D, and then Oro. But anyway, yeah. If you go to my website and click on True Freedom, you'll find what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So now TBC. You know, I love cryptocurrencies. I really do. I think cryptocurrencies, especially realizing that is where the idea of TBC came from. Now, TBC, let us understand something about TBC. If you happen to be a person who thinks that other cryptocurrencies are better than TBC, well, let me just give you a little bit of information here on that idea, because all of the cryptocurrencies out there now, they are in exchanges, and TBC did not go into exchanges, and that's for a reason. Because what always happens when people try to break out of the system, you see, that's what the intention was with cryptocurrencies. Okay. But what happens is, as we know, they all end up in exchanges. Well, in doing so, that means that they are creating a bridge to the fiat system, so that they can use, and it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, sure. But here's the problem. While doing that, that is where the that is where the legal system has hooks that they can pull them back in. It's like it's like when they first start out, it's like they are on an elastic, and right away people begin to see, they see the freedom that we could gain, right? And they start, and a lot of them are created, a lot of I mean, if you know anything about cryptocurrencies, you know that there's hundreds of them already. Okay, well, uh, all of those are, and they register companies, they register, they go and they do all that. Well, here's the thing: every time you register anything with the government, now they have a hook. Now you're hooked on, you are hooked because you have registered. uh, the way this works is that we have to, once we understand the system, we have to break ourselves free completely. There is no halfway. You are either all the way in or all the way out. Let me just for those of you uh, who know the Bible, I've been studying the Bible for many years. I've been a Christian for many years, and but I have, and that doesn't mean I don't. I truly appreciate a lot of the principles from the Bible and everything. There's very, very much truth in there. But let's look at it this way: the Bible is written by the same people that own the central banks. Maybe not the ones that own it now, but I mean the same bloodline lineage from back thousands of years ago. Those are the people that have written the Bible. And once you understand the other side of the coin, and if you know the Bible really well, there is many times where you're gonna say, "Ah, wow, now that makes so much sense why the Bible says what it does." Okay, so I'm just telling you this, that that if we think that the Bible is a book that has been written by a bunch of Christians who were all very good-minded, not so much. Not so much. And that's why the Bible does tell us about renewing our mind. You see, it gives us it gives us the clue that we can become free. It doesn't give us all that it involves, but it does tell us that we can. All right, so TBC was obviously created for the reason of giving us the monetary freedom that we so much deserve. And this Pantera de Oro, he is the guy that understands the legal system completely, inside and out, all of it. He understands it. And he has created a system and training that teaches us all that we need to know so that we can free ourselves completely. Well, him knowing TBC, the TBC admin and so on, well, they've been working together on this idea of getting, and I believe that that is why admin had decided never to go on the exchanges, because that is a hook. It is a hook to the legal system. As soon as we do that, then then we then we are bound to the legal system and cannot be free. It would no longer be a free community. TBC would no longer be a free coin. I'm not saying by that we shouldn't use any of the other cryptocurrencies. I think they can still help us. But let's just remember, they are not a currency. They are right now, they are stretching the elastic, and it's going to pull them back into the legal system. And that is because people do not understand, and they go and they start registering with the government. If we do that in any way, we are, then we're hooked. We can't break free from that. Okay, so that is why TBC remains free, and this is why we have a free community. So if for those who do not understand why TBC is not in the exchanges, let's not push for that, because in doing that, if we would, that's where we would lose our freedom. So I wanted us to gain a bit of an understanding on that. Okay, so that is why we are the way we are with TBC. Now here's the thing, and I think this is a wonderful thing, and that is that of course it will be challenging, I realize that, but let's appreciate the freedom that it's gaining us. Okay, and so thereby we have the freedom to create our own community within, or our own economy within the economy that we live in. And eventually the economy that we live in will be obsolete by the economy, made obsolete by the economy that we're creating. So that is the way we can go about this. Okay, and have it work and be actually truly have it. Now, as I mentioned, for us to actually be free, then we need to go through the process that is provided by Gemstone University, which personally I have begun my journey through that, and I am so looking forward to have that completed. It's going to be awesome. So anyways, again, I just can't hardly help but mention at least the free energy system that we're working on to create that, because the electricity that's being delivered to us is first of all dangerous. The smart meters are dangerous. To find out what the dangers are, you can find that information on stopthecrime.net. Okay, and then plus the pollution, it by generating it pollutes the air, and disruptions by weather and so on. Those are all factors that end the monthly bills, of course, right? Now with the energy units that we're creating, is all of those things are gone. Not only that, but the energy that these units generate is literally in harmony with nature, with the energy field that we're all in. If you understand the law of attraction and the energy field that each person generates, well, the generator that I'm talking about, it creates the same torus, the energy field, and that is a very healthy energy. Okay, it's just simply healthy even to just be around the unit when it runs. And then of course, as I mentioned, the bills are gone. There's no danger, and so on. It's really awesome. And what's more is, with these units, we are spreading TBC every step along the way. With the donations at the beginning, because we are raising startup funding for it. So with that, we are giving back in TBC 50% of the donations. Well, that, with our cookie rewards program, that gives people already way more than they're giving, you know. They're way ahead financially by giving us a nice, a big fat donation. Okay. And now, of course, uh, the truth is it'll take a bit of time because we are we are creating the economy, right? And so it's going to take a few years. But in the meantime, there's way more money that they're going to have to use than what they're giving us in order to in fiat money for us to be able to operate now. Um, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Also, in the process where we're creating them and all of that, also again, every step along the way, we are incorporating TBC as part of the payment and so on. At the back end, where they're being sold and installed and so on, again, TBC part of the payment. So this gets TBC into people's hands while they're also getting access to free energy. And for people who can't even afford energy at this point, they will have energy. That's the wonderful thing about it. You know, really what we're doing is we're leveling the playing field. You know, these major companies that are so happy sending out the bills every month, well, they're going to have to end up doing something else because that's those bills, they're going to disappear. And you know, and people who now can't even afford to pay those bills, well, they won't need to. They will have the same access without. So those are the things that that we're doing now. TBC is the best tool that we can possibly have, that I can think of, to create a new economy. I hope that and I know at times it may be challenging to see it, but we are very creative people. I know that in schools and so on, and through the news media and all that, we have mostly been trained not to think, not to figure out things, not to dare do anything. But we are incredibly creative. And there are ways in which we can do things that we can advance, even though there may be roadblocks at times, but we can get around them. Think an example. If you stand or sit beside the river somewhere and just watch the water for a while, I absolutely love spending some time at the river. We have one just nearby here. I walk to it often, and just listen to the water. It's such a I just love the sound of it. But what I also like, all the stones and the rocks and the branches, the logs and everything that's in the water that would be obstructions to the water for flowing smoothly. You don't It just doesn't look like the water is fussing about any of that. It just goes around it. It doesn't care. It just goes around and over and whatever it takes and just moves right on down to the, downhill, down to where it ends up in the lakes or ocean, or where it's running to. it does not stop and put up a fuss. Oh, well, I'm having some problem here, you see? It doesn't do that. Well, we can take an example from that, because if we allow the energy to flow freely through us, then those obstructions, we can turn them into opportunities and use them to our advantage. This may be hard to understand sometimes, but if we do it right, if we truly are patient and use the energy that we breathe every day, we use that energy correctly, those obstructions, they become opportunities. So anyhow, thank you again so much for hanging out with me. I think I'm going to sign off. The only thing that I can say, guys, we have a wonderful opportunity to create a TBC economy. There is nothing in this world that has more wealth than TBC. There's nothing in this world that has more wealth than TBC. I mean, besides what our mind is, besides who we are as people. But as far as anything that we could use by way of monetary system, there isn't anything that comes close. There isn't anything that comes close. So let's rise to that challenge. Let's turn every obstacle into an opportunity to further grow the new economy of TBC, because there are still millions, hundreds of millions of people that need TBC. And maybe many of them don't know it yet, but they actually want TBC. Very often, people who kick against it the most, they end up being the biggest promoters. And you know what? I believe that is one of the things that is going to happen in TBC a lot. That some of the people who now like to run it down and have bad things to say about it, they're probably going to turn around and be some of the biggest promoters. So let's give them all the space they need to vent their hostility or whatever it is they have. And when the time is right, they'll turn around. Okay. I have links in my in the description. If you want to learn more about what I was mentioning earlier on, go to cryptotbc.com and find out what I was talking about. You want to learn more about the free energy that I was talking about? Then you go to free.energy. And you'll find the information and realize what I'm talking about. And of course, you can contact me. And by all means, I'd be very happy to converse with you to see what your ideas are and so on. By all means. Again, thank you very much for hanging out with me here, and I wish you a wonderful evening or more day or whatever it is where you are, that's ahead of you. I hope you truly enjoy it. And with that said, I'm signing off. Bye.